Welcome to Will It Build, the series where I take your builds from my YouTube comments and Discord server and put them to the test to see if they are the real deal. If it's solid, then I'll gift you 1,000 silver, and if it's really something special, you'll be featured in a dedicated build video for your submitted build. So comment yours below so we can answer the question, will it build? Feels good to be back. Welcome to the first episode of Will It Build in the year of 2024. I have a good feeling this is going to be one of the best years for Destiny content yet. I know we have a long delay until the final shape, but the series that we do, like Will It Build, that's what's going to keep us occupied until we get there. And I'm pretty pumped to start off the year with this one. I'm always a sucker for the very simple builds, and 4 lines of text plus a screenshot, that's about as simple as we get. Now, before we get into the build, I do want to mention we are going to do a giveaway at some point in the stream. I kind of want to transition into always doing a giveaway for every single Will It Build. Obviously, we give 1,000 silver to whoever submits the build if it does indeed build, but I always love giving away something extra for you guys who watch. So we'll chat about that later. First things first though, let's get started with the build. We have something from Seagill, a fun endless arc build using Geomag stabilizers and Cold Heart with the Catalyst. This build caught my eye because I'm always down for builds that try to utilize exotic weapons that don't get utilized too frequently. Because, you know, I feel like Destiny is a game that's all about variety. And so, you know, if there's a build that can make good use out of an exotic weapon that I feel like I don't use very often, I'm always down for that. Remember, we have got a exotic trait where it periodically generates ionic traces while in its highest damage state. And the exotic perk down here, the intrinsic trait, this weapon shoots a steady cold fusion powered arc laser, dealing more damage the longer it remains on a target. And they said we do have to have the Catalyst. It looks like the Catalyst passively grants plus 20 stability and plus 20 reload speed. So I guess those are good stat buffs for the weapon, don't get me wrong, but I definitely don't think that you need to have the Catalyst. So if you want to replicate this build and you do not yet have the Cold Heart Catalyst, I think you're going to be completely okay. Looking into some of the other numbers though, I think this is some really good information to have. Steadily grants up to an 80% increase damage as energy is accumulated, and while in the maximum damage state, we get plus 100 stability and plus 100 reload speed, and hit spawn in Ionic Trace with a 2-second cooldown. So when we're in that maximum energy state, every single 2 seconds, as long as we're continuing to hit an enemy, we're going to continuously spawn Ionic Traces, which I like a lot. It looks like they're recommending fragments of beacons, amplitude, shock, and ions. Beacons, here we go. While you are amplified, your arc special weapon final blows create a blinding explosion, which is awesome because Cold Heart is a special weapon. So I have a feeling we're going to be blinding literally everything. Amplitude, rapidly defeating targets while you are amplified, creates an orb of power. So 2 that rely on us being amplified already and give us different benefits. I know shock off the top of my head increases the effectiveness of our grenade. It allows our arc grenades to jolt targets. And then ions, defeating a jolted target creates an ionic trace. So I think the idea is that we're going to jolt targets with our grenades, and then when they die, we get an ionic trace. We also get ionic traces every time we damage an enemy every 2 seconds from that Cold Heart perk we were talking about earlier. Aspects are going to be Arc Soul with this build, and we're going to use Electrostatic Mind as well. So I already have those on. Arc Soul, obviously incredible. Anytime you cast your Rift down, you get an Arc Soul, and all of your allies actually get an Arc Soul every time they pass through it, and you can step back into the Rift to refresh the duration of it. A lot of people don't know this. Do me a favor, hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel, or at least consider subscribing to the channel. You don't have to, but I'd appreciate it. A lot of people don't know this, but while amplified, your Arc Souls are supercharged and gain increased fire rate. That is the exact same version of the Arc Soul as the sentient Arc Soul that you get when you're using Getaway Artist. The sentient Arc Soul that you get from Getaway Artist, the amplified Arc Soul from the Arc Soul aspect, exact same thing, exact same fire rate and exact same damage. Other aspect they want us running is Electrostatic Mind. We're defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace, and collecting an ionic trace makes us amplified. This is massive because anytime we collect an ionic trace, we get amplified, which is huge because we have 2 fragments that require us to be amplified. Additionally, defeating blinded targets creates an ionic trace. We have a fragment where every single special weapon final blow, which since we're using a Cold Heart is going to be basically every final blow, blinds everything with a blinding explosion. So I think we're going to get ionic traces from like literally every single enemy in the entire game. And that's really important because the exotic that they've set us up with for this build is the Geomag stabilizers, where damaging targets with Chaos Reach extends its duration, and collecting ionic traces grants you increased energy for Chaos Reach. So Geomags actually got a buff like 2 seasons ago. Every single Ionic Trace pickup gives you a bonus 2% Chaos Reach super energy, which doesn't like sound like a lot. When you consider that you're already getting a ton of super energy from every enemy that you're killing, and you're continuously probably getting some additional super energy from the mods that they're providing to us, an extra 2% from every single Ionic Trace, which again is probably going to be like every single enemy that we kill, is going to net us a lot of total super energy. We're probably going to be spamming the laser beam left and right. They didn't mention anything with the abilities, so I'm just going to personally go with what I think would be best. I'm going to stick with Pulse Grenade, I'm going to stick with Healing Rift, and I'm going to stick with Ball Lightning. As far as mods go, it looks like they have us with a Harmonic Siphon, a Ashes to... Yeah, they have us with a Harmonic Siphon, Hands On, and a Heavy Ammo Finder. I'm going to be 100% honest, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the Hands On, gain bonus super energy on melee kills. Obviously, we'll try it out. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing with this build, but I feel like I'm probably going to want to change this up to something else. We'll see down the line. As far as gloves go, they have us with Firepower, Impact Induction, and Fastball. I always kind of talk about Fastball. Fastball is kind of like a dealer's choice kind of thing. If you like using Fastball, go ahead and throw it on. However, if your muscle memory has developed over the years of Destiny where you're used to throwing grenades without Fastball, feel free to go ahead and skip on it. So we're going to go Impact Induction instead. I'm going to look to maybe... Instead of taking Fastball, I'm going to maybe look to turn this into a minor resilience mod, so I can maybe do something like Bolstering Detonation, so that when I deal damage with a grenade, I get some of my class ability energy back. That can help me maintain some more Arc Soul uptime. I think that might be solid. Down here on the chest, it looks like they're giving us an Arc Reserves, which makes sense because we're rocking Cold Heart. I wonder, can you do Harmonic Reserves? Is that a thing? You can do Harmonic Reserves. So I would say go with Harmonic Reserves, so you're spending 2 energy instead of 3, and then you can do 2 resistances, whatever you want. Or you can maybe even do a Harmonic Resistance and then a Concussive Dampener, so you reduce all area of effect damage, which pretty much every enemy does area of effect damage. As far as the boots, we've got an Arc Surge, a Recuperation, and I have no idea what that is. Arc Weapon Surge, Recuperation, and Orbs of Restoration. Picking up an Orb of Power grants a small amount of energy to your ability with the least energy. I have never used this mod in my entire life, but you know, let's give it a try. And down here at the bottom, we've got a Reaper, a Bomber, and an Outreach, and slap all of those on. And here's our final mod screen to start out. It looks like they're kind of giving us dealer's choice when it comes to the rest of the weapons here. So I think I might take a primary ammo option. Maybe we go SMG, and then I want to go something Arc in my heavy slot to match up with my Arc Surges. I have a 7th Seraph Saw that I haven't used in quite a while, so let's try that out and just see what happens. This setup, I'm liking what we got going on. Let's go ahead and test it out in the Coil and see if it'll build. While I'm loading in, I want to talk about the giveaway and give a huge thank you to the 2 individuals that are joining me on this run, Kylo and Steelgramps. Like I always say, we film these while we're live on stream over at twitch.tv/Mactics. Would love to have you stop by. As far as the giveaways go, give me 1 second. We made a custom Destiny themed deck of cards. We made a ton of them. I'll have my editor show on screen what the cards look like right now. But if you look behind me, we have a ridiculous amount of them. So I want to give away a deck completely for free to someone who comments down below and lets me know what your New Year's resolution is. It's the beginning of 2024 and I can feel that I'm already about to die to the spikes. First things first, I need to get amplified. So I kind of want to... I want to get an Ionic Trace, so that makes me amplified. And now every time I kill enemies, I should get that blinding explosion, right? I kind of like the electricity one. I like the one that has like arc electricity kind of zapping around on it, just kind of. So let's try and start putting the pieces of this together a little bit. First, let's get our Arc Soul, and then let's kill an enemy with an ability, so we get an Ionic Trace to become amplified. And then we can start blasting these guys. Every single special weapon kill will create a blinding explosion for us, which is what we're kind of looking for. I'm not really seeing the blinding explosion happen, though. Oh, I think that's what it was right there, is that little blue pulse that just happened. So if I shoot this guy... Oh yeah, they're all blinded. And then so every time I kill the blinded enemy, they should also create Ionic Traces for me, which means I'm basically going to have my Chaos Reach up all the time. I can early cancel with Geomags, so I get like 1/3 of it back. And then I think we just rinse and repeat from there. I think the idea is we just have our Geomags laser up 24/7. So what I'm noticing is I think the visual effect for the blinding arc blast is not very noticeable. Oh, I just got cooked. What I'm noticing is I feel like the visual effect for the blinding effect is not very noticeable, but is definitely there. I already have my super back. I can just obliterate all these Minotaurs. So if I kill any enemy, yeah, they're definitely all blinded. So you can't really see the blinding effect too much, but it's definitely happening because these enemies aren't shooting at me. So if I like shoot one of these harpies up here, so yeah, these two are like glowing red. That means they're blinded. And so if I do the same thing to the one up there, these two are kind of like glowing red as well. Not used to having my super up this frequently. So if I just, oh, I'm getting pushed back so much. Look at how high up I am. I'm still struggling. I'm not seeing the point of the hands-on here very much. I'm thinking I might want to swap that out for an Ashes to Assets. I love Cold Heart. Remember the old Destiny 1 days where we were in the Leviathan raid and we had double primaries and literally all of us were using Cold Heart to DPS Callus? Whether they had a heavy ammo finder or not, I think this would be much better as special ammo finder. I think special ammo finder would be much better here because obviously this entire build revolves around the Cold Heart. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on. So something I'm noticing that I really want to go to great lengths to do is make sure that I'm always maintaining Amplified by picking up Ionic Traces or by getting Arc Weapon double kills. Both ways to get Ionic Traces, so I can maintain Amplified. You can also get an Ionic Trace, obviously, if I fully charge the Cold Heart and just shoot at a Minotaur. So, and we're going to go ahead, let's try and get an Ionic Trace from this guy. And I just want to Chaos Reach this guy and see how long my Chaos Reach lasts on him. Because for every hit, Geomags will actually extend the duration of your Chaos Reach. So you can actually beam an enemy with Chaos Reach for a pretty long time. We have 3 armor charges as well, so we're getting that arc weapon surge for a very long time. We're just gonna continue black. All right, let's get a grenade on him, because remember, with the Spark of Shock, that grenade will jolt the boss. So as we follow up with additional damage, we'll get even more damage because the boss is jolted and we're continuously proccing that jolt. So your grenade is actually a good DPS tool as well, not just because it does damage in and of itself, but because it jolts the enemy so you can continue proccing it, get even more damage. Which means we should be able, I think this will put this guy to bed. Just keep on him. And he's out of there. I'm thinking as well, right off the gate, I think I would benefit a lot from getting more special ammo in every single pickup. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out this Orbs of Restoration for maybe a Harmonic Scavenger, so that every time I pick up a brick of ammo, be it heavy or special, I get significantly increased ammo into my reserves, which I think will help a lot, which is the Cold Heart uptime. Let's go ahead and pull out the Cold Heart and beam him. Oh, he got cooked. No! I feel like the Pulse Grenade is by far the most valuable part of our kit because with the Spark of Shock, it allows us to jolt targets. So I think I'm going to try swapping out Recuperation and throwing in an Innervation instead. I think I'll be okay in terms of health because of my Healing Rift. I think I'm always going to have my Healing Rift up thanks to the Full Screen Detonation. But we'll experiment with it and we'll see how it feels. So right here, I'm out of special ammo, so now's the time to go ahead and pull up my heavy, which means since I'm getting kills with my heavy ammo weapon and not with my special weapon, I should have a significantly increased chance of getting special ammo drops, because you're always more likely to get a brick for a weapon that you're not currently using at the moment. Okay, right now I want to really focus on how quickly I get my super. So I'm just going to kind of kill a couple of guys and then drop my super on a pack of enemies. And then just really pay attention to how long it takes me to get it back. Chaos Reach lasts for a very long time. Okay. So we're just going to try and get it back as quickly as humanly possible. And the way we're going to do that is by trying to generate as many Ionic Traces as we can. Which should be pretty easy, since I think everything we kill with Cold Heart, we get that blinding blast. Look at all these Ionic Traces coming in. Okay, we're going to continue to get Ionic Traces. Just got a new wave of enemies to spawn. Kill them both with abilities, so we get Ionic Traces from every ability kill, thanks to Electrostatic Mind. And then here's a nice pack of enemies, and we'll blind them all because of that explosion, since we're killing them with a with a special weapon. And boom, there's our Chaos Reach back. And then I think we can run up here, start blasting these guys. And perfect target to use our Geomags on. And I think we'll early cancel so we get some of our Geomags back, and then we can clean up the rest of these enemies with our Cold Heart. GRC dropping a gifted sub while we go ahead and push the boss. I'll put down the Rift so we get our Arc Soul, and then we're safe in the Rift from the healing of it, and then we can just use our Cold Heart to finish off this guy. And then we have a ton of other enemies over here. Special Finder, it's actually pretty easy to maintain all of our ammo. And I was gonna say I was a little bit worried about the healing with this build with dropping recuperation, but since we practically have healing Rift up 24/7, it actually feels... Alright, this is where we're gonna really try and make as many Ionic Traces as possible by just holding down the maximum power of Cold Heart, which obviously once we're maximum charge on it, that's what's gonna make the Ionic Trace every 2 seconds, which I feel like we haven't been doing a great job of so far. We can also use our Chaos Reach to probably like one-shot one of these wizards. We even have a little bit left over for another wizard. So I want to see how much I can really generate Ionic Traces if I'm just continuously beaming this guy in the head. Because with the max charge, we should be making one every 2 seconds. So we're just going to continuously keep blasting him. We're going to look at our super meter, and our super meter is just climbing and climbing and climbing. Go ahead and cook that Centurion. I'm trying to get the boss. I kind of tickled in through that wall a little bit. Wasn't the best. I'm going to kill some of these Scions with our heavy weapon, though, so we get some special bricks. I think I saw one drop over here. And then let's just try and beam these guys so we get our Ionic Traces, since we're at the full charge. Get a quick reload in. And we're just going to keep an eye on our super meter, see how quickly we get that to go up. And the Cold Heart damage is not half bad either. I mean, remember, back in the day, this was like one of the premier DPS weapons. Admittedly, it was, of course, during a double primary season, but it's fine because we have our Chaos Reach. And I think we should be able to kill this guy with our Chaos Reach here. Not quite. Almost. And there we go. So if we look at our meter... Oh, you're right. If you look at like the charge indicator on the Cold Heart, just firing one bullet makes the charge go up for like a decent amount of time. So look, it's fully charged now. So you can just tap and end it. Wait a minute. Okay, so it's like a much easier to do version of the Divinity trick then, right? Where you kind of like tap fire so you can keep the debuff on longer. So if I just tap fire at these guys, boom, I'm max charge. Oh my god. So if I just like play from a distance and just tap fire at these guys, Ionic Trace. There's another Ionic Trace. There's another Ionic Trace. There's another one. Oh my god. And then I just... Okay. No, I see what's happening now. And then I can just, you know, see ya. See you later. Okay, so keep tap fire in. Tap fire. Yep. Yeah, you're 100% correct. That is incredible. Let me get the Arc Soul. Now it's time to die. That despawns everything, right? Nope, maybe not. Well, it's okay. The tanky enemy's dead. So I think we're about to come up on the next boss, which is good because I really want to put to the test that new Cold Heart trick that we just figured out, where you just kind of tap fire. I think that is going to make a world of difference in terms of making the most out of our Cold Heart ammo. Great. And then, so we're just going to tap fire over and over again and just look at our super meter kind of fill up. And now we're just going to do the little tap fire trick. Give me the traces. And there we go. That's what I was waiting for. Taking a little bit of heat, though. We'll have to get out of here. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this and just kind of get a better idea. So we're max charge right now. Yeah, so it's just like a bullet every 0.5 seconds. And then we'll just get a free ionic trace every 2 seconds. All we got to do. I'm not sure how much I love this in the sense of like doing a lot of boss DPS, because obviously you're kind of hindering your boss DPS if you're intentionally firing your gun as little as possible. So in that context, I don't know if this is great if you're trying to go for good like DPS, but if you're trying to go for good total damage, I kind of like what we're doing here. So you're probably seeing this and seeing me at low HP quite frequently. I don't think that's a result of, you know, this build being kind of bad. I think it's just a result of, you know, this modifier is brutal because you never get to heal. We'll probably just walk up here and we'll probably be able to kill it with the Chaos Reach, yeah? Continue to burn. We can get a grenade on there. I'm going to try and hop over here to get over to my teammates as well. And boom, popped. Do you want me to buy this and we go crazy mode? Oh, do it? Okay. Yeah, literally every single one of y'all is saying do it. So let's have some fun. Ooh, I like this room. Oh, what's up, guys? See ya. And you both dead. Bye-bye. Okay, now we need... Okay, we're already amplified, actually, because we got an arc double kill. Don't even have to get the ionic trace. And now, I'm going to try and do a bit of a mix between the tap firing and the constant... Whoa! Whoa! Where are all these ionic traces coming from? Oh my god. It's like a sea of traces. Take a couple of these dudes down. Almost have our super. There we go. Boom. And then I can end early so we get like a third of it back. Oh, something I do want to try real quick. Remember earlier in the video when I was like, yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I like hands-on for this. I'm still kind of feeling that way. What I think I want to switch it to, I want to switch it to Dynamo. Reduce the super cooldown when using your class ability near targets. I feel like we have our class ability up pretty much always because the ionic traces and the bolstering detonation. So if we do it like right here, look at the super, pop, get a little chunk. Nothing out of this world, but I feel like that's going to get more use than hands-on is going to, especially in higher end content. Got our Chaos Reach back already. Use it to nuke the Hydra. Let's get ready to plop a grenade on these guys. I want to get some kills with my... Oh no! Wyverns everywhere! Here, have some Arc Souls. Okay, I'm gonna back it up a little bit. Don't like what's going on here. I need some ionic traces or something. And now they're all gonna die. There we go. Alright, we're getting ramped up now. They never stood a chance. Okay. We're low on ammo, so we're going to enter tap fire mode, just so we get our traces. Now we're out of ammo completely, so we're going to switch to our heavy. And hopefully kill enough to get a special brick. We do have our super back now. Well, alrighty then. Oh no, is this the Wyvern? The Wyvern is the final fight for this week? Oh, have mercy on me. I'm gonna try and get in the well, so I get the damage buff. I think, actually, does the damage buff apply to 1702? 1702. Okay, so the well does not affect the damage of the head at all. But I get a lot of healing. He just teleported behind me. I need that rest. No! Okay, this should take his shield down. And we're good. Okay. So let's get our Arc Soul down. And let's get our Chaos Reach off immediately. We'll just damage him as much as we can right out of the gate. And then I'm not really concerned with how fast we damage him. I'm just concerned with our total damage. So I'm not going to worry about blasting with my gun too much. I'm just going to hit him with the Cold Heart taps so that I continuously get traces and hopefully get my super back as quickly as possible. The Cold Hearting. Ooh, there's some orbs right there that I would love to pick up. Some orbs down here as well. I'm really low though, so let's get our Rift down. Get some healing, and that'll get us our Arc Soul, which is really nice. Where we continue tapping on enemies, so we get that Cold Heart charge, so we get our traces. I'm also willing to use a little bit of extra ammo to actually kill some stuff now. And we almost have our Chaos Reach back. Never mind, I'm safe. His shield literally just came back. But you know what? That's okay, because I can just early cancel my Geomag. So, gotta break in one more time. Love how quickly these heads give you your super. I actually didn't notice that. Pop that next to enemies, so we proc Dynamo. Kill a couple of these Harpies. So we got a shield down. Start blasting him with the Chaos Reach. And then we're gonna get our Detain in a bit. I want to make sure I'm away from the boss. Go ahead and break out of the Detain. Get the Rift down for our Arc Soul. So I'll do the tap just to ramp up the gun to max charge, and then once the gun's at max charge, then I can just hold down the trigger. And maybe even use it to kill some of these goblins too. I am almost out of special ammo though, so I want to be a little more careful. That is a lot. Ooh, there's special ammo brick. Good timing. I want to try and get one more Chaos Reach and finish him off with it. And here, I think I should be able to get Trace. And this should put him in the ground. And that's all she wrote for this one. Very nice. That is it for the first Will It Build episode of 2024. Hopefully the first of very, very, very many episodes. This is what we kind of ended up with as our build. We didn't really change anything on the subclass screen. I loved the setup that they gave us, but they didn't suggest any particular abilities, so these are what I kind of went with, and I kind of gave my reasonings for this. This is what we ended up with the mods. We made a couple slight tweaks, most notably special ammo finder, very important to have. Like I said, I don't know if that's what they had originally or not, if I just assumed heavy ammo finder, but definitely go special. I like Dynamo instead of the hands-on. I think it fits the build a little bit better, and I like going with a Harmonic Scavenger for more Cold Heart ammo, as well as Innervation instead of the Recuperation and the Harmonic Orbs, because this is going to allow us to have our grenade up a little bit more often, which is going to allow us to jolt more targets thanks to the Spark of Shock, and just because generally Pulse Grenade is pretty solid. Everything else, though, I mostly kept the same. I went ahead and went with the Bolstering Detonation instead of Firepower. However, if you're a Firepower enjoyer, you can go ahead and slot that in. And in terms of weapons, I felt like the submachine gun was pretty much useless, so I'll let you guys go ahead and try and figure out something a little bit better. Remember to put your New Year's resolution in the comments down below so that I can pick one of you and go ahead and get a card deck sent out your way. Thank you so much for all the support in 2023. Looking forward to have a great 2024 with all y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.